Okay, so hello. hello booktubing world. It is I, Capri Nicole, and I'm back with another video. So as you can see, I don't have my extendos. I probably won't for a few months because I'm at a new job. I have to get used to this new job and see like what I'm going to be building and what I'm going to be using my hands for before I put the extendos on. I've never had an issue working with my nails, but I was at my last job for 4 years, so I kind of was like used to building and doing the things that I was doing with the nails, but now it's something new, something different, something way more thorough. So I just need to give myself time away from the nails for now. But it's kind of weird not having my nails, but it is what it is. So if you guys see me without my nails in the future videos, that is why. Other than that, as you can see by the title, obviously we're gathered here today to do a book haul that is long overdue. I have had these books lined up on my floor off of my shelves for a while, for like weeks, and I kept telling myself and scheduling like when I was gonna film, and I finally am sitting down and filming today. So usually if you're an OG here on the island, if you're not an OG, then you should subscribe and become an islander because we're awesome, you know what I'm saying? Come join the fam, okay? Join the fam. But usually when I do book hauls, I include Kindle and I include audiobooks because, as I've said, if I am paying for a subscription, you're gonna hear about these books. But today is 100% physical books because I have 50 physical books, last that I counted. So 50 physical books that I want to talk about today. Some of them I have mentioned in previous videos. As you can see, I have these beautiful shelves behind me and I'm slowly but surely trying to fill them. I'm just taking my time because I don't want to be overwhelmed with the amount of books that I have on my TBR. I have no problem with having gaps on my bookshelves until I fill them with books that I've already read or fill them with books that I want to read, but I don't want to get too over the top with the TBR, you know what I'm saying? But today we have 50 books. I have them split up in sections. We have a lot of special edition books. We have a lot of mangas. We have a ton of fantasy. Like a good chunk of this is fantasy books. So let's get into it. All right, so the first stack is basically like nonfiction and miscellaneous. So these are books that I either didn't know what section to put them in or they are nonfiction. So the first two that I have are Miss Bell Hooks. I have a vlog which I will put up here that you can check out if you would like to, where I read a ton of Bell Hooks books during Black History Month, and I absolutely admire her as an author, as a person, and I had such a good time reading her books. I learned so much, and I was excited to find these physically in another video that I did. I think it was a book shopping video, which I will also link up here if you guys want to check it out. But I've read both of these books, but I didn't have a physical copy of this one, so this one is new to the shelves, you know what I'm saying? But these are already both read. This one is all about love, where she deep dives into how people fall in love, romantic relationships, platonic relationships, family relationships, just everything in general from the ground up. She's just like deep diving into it and talking about what she's learned, what she sees, and what she's researched. And I really enjoyed this. As you can see, she's a little bit tabbed. She's not too heavily tabbed, but she's heavily dog-eared, like heavily dog-eared. I don't know if you guys can see that, but this one is called The Will to Change: Men, Masculinity, and Love. So this one I really enjoyed. It deep dove into just how the men's psyche work and like how they're raised to basically shelter the emotions and how they become who they are in general, just like as an idea of like, you know, where masculinity and where men come from, you know, basically, and just like the history of them. She's always going to come for the patriarchy's neck, and that is exactly what she did in this book, and I absolutely loved it. It definitely taught me a lot, so I really wanted to have a physical copy so that I can reread it and annotate it. So those are the first two. And then I also have Friday Black. I don't know anything about what this book is about, but I like the cover and it has deckled edges. I found this again when I went book shopping at a Black owned bookstore, and I'm pretty sure, I'm not even gonna lie to y'all and tell y'all what I think this is about. Okay, basically it's like non-fiction fiction, so it is like based loosely on things that are, you know, racial injustices within our country, within America, and it's spun into like fiction stories. So they're real in the actual problems, but their stories are fictional. So that's what I'm grasping for this. I don't want to know anything about this going into it because I really want to just like deep dive into it and just like take it as it is. Y'all know how I am with like too much racism in books, but if it's like nonfiction or something that's gonna, you know, clue me in or teach me something, that I don't have a problem with it, as long as it's not like too traumatic. Like I like to keep my brain happy and not in doomsday, okay? But I still do really want to read this, so pick this one up. And then my mom got me the Slutty Vegan cookbook, which I'm really excited to read. There are some bangers in this one. Like, just flipping through these pages, oh my god, it just looks, everything looks so good. And I'm just a cookbook girly. I will be going back to being a vegetarian in June, just gearing up all of the vegan cookbooks, all the vegetarian cookbooks, because your girl likes to cook. I really like learning new recipes. I have another one on the way, which I will put up here so that you guys can see it. They didn't get here in time, but this is another black vegan that I really enjoy her cooking on Instagram, so I ordered her book, which it just didn't get here yet, but it's okay. Slutty Vegan is actually a restaurant in Atlanta, and it's all vegan burgers, and they're sloppy and they're juicy and they're just full of flavor and they're amazing. Like, the best burgers of all time. So stay away from McDonald's, go get you a vegan burger and take care of your body. Okay. First section is done. I think I'm gonna, oh, it's gonna be so nice to put these books back. Okay, so the next section that we have, these are all manga. So I think I'm gonna start from the bottom. So the first one that I have is Love Conquers All. This is another book that I picked up during my black book shopping, and this is just something quick. It's just like a little graphic novel. I'm not really sure what it's about, but it looks cute. I'm interested to pick it up. So that's the first one. Bam. And then, oh lord, okay, these are, let's see, The Savior's Book Cafe Story in Another World. So these are all in the same world, like these are all together. So I've already read all of these books. I read the first one in a video where I was looking for like a 5-star book, and it ended up being the first book that I read, and it ended up being a 5-star. Honestly, as the series went on, it wasn't as good as the first one, but I still enjoyed it, so I'm happy to have these on my shelves. I think there's only one more left. I'm not sure if it's continuing, but I know there's one more coming out in May. So I have all of these. This one basically follows the main character. She's in her 30s, and this god comes to her and lets her know that she's going to be traveling to another world in order to protect that country and its people. And she goes over there. She has magical abilities. She owns a bookstore, and it's just very cozy. It's very cute. It's very low stakes. Really enjoyed it. A very quick read. And then I have my babies. I actually have been waiting for this to open this because it's wrapped tightly. Okay, so I have to actually open this. I've been waiting because I think there's stickers. I think there's stickers in this one. I'm not 100% sure, but I've been waiting to open this, and I figured I would wait until the haul to actually open this one up to see if there's anything special in here. Look at them. Oh my god. So this is a box set of Sweat and Soap, and this was one of my favorite series that I read, I think in 2021, and it basically follows this, it sounds weird, but you have to hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out before you not listen to me. So basically it follows the main character. They both work in this, like, basically like a Bath and Body Works, you know, the fragrances, the soaps, the lotions, all that stuff. And he basically makes all of the scents, and she works in the accountant department, and they end up running into each other, and he has like this really strong like smell kink and he loves the way she smells, and they end up getting into like this relationship where they end up dating. And it's just such a good series. Like, this is like, these are my babies. Like, I was so excited when I found out that there was going to be a box set for this one. It's really good. It deep dives into like tough conversations, relationships, like family relationships, stuff like that, work relationships. I really enjoyed this, and they had really good communication, so that's a big reason why I loved this series. Had to get the box set, but I think there's stickers in here. I'm not, oh, they're scented. Oh my god. Oh my god. It smells like It smells like this. This one, these are like stickers, and they're scented stickers. How freaking cute. This smells lemony. And then these over here, they're like eating. This one, can you see? The one where they're eating, it smells like barbecue. And then the ones where they're eating, it smells like barbecue. This one smells like miso soup. I love it. Like, I absolutely love it. Of course the stickers are scented. Like, I'm so happy. I don't even know where I'm gonna put these, but wow, this really smells like smoked barbecue. Like, that is so cool. But oh my god, because I read these on my Kindle, so these are bigger than like mangas usually are. These are very floppy too. I'm so excited to have these. Look at them. Gotta give it a chance. Honestly, if you don't like the first volume, I say at least get to volume 3. If you don't like the first one, at least get to 3, because it's just good. Like, the conversations that are in the series are so good. They're fun, they're funny. I really like both of the characters, and you should definitely pick this up. Sweat and Soap, everyone. Okay, Sweat and Soap. Speaking of Sweat and Soap, because there are some steamy scenes in this one. This one is wrapped, so you know there are steamy scenes in this one too. This one is Fire in His Fingertips, and I heard Ashley from Bookish Realm talk about this, and it basically, I think it's just following the main character who's a firefighter and his love interest, and there's like sexy steamy times in here. I don't know, child, but I picked it up. I thought it would be cute or something to read. You might see this real soon in a vlog, so stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for that. Very cute. And then I picked up this one, which is Kaiju. I don't know what this is about. Let me read this, okay? Kaiju number 8. So this one I picked up because it was compared to Tokyo Ghoul, and Tokyo Ghoul is literally one of my all-time favorite mangas that I've ever read. So I was looking for something similar, and this one is basically following the state of Japan after it was taken over by monsters, and I guess like they're trying to refurbish their country, and they have cleanup men, and one of the cleanup men ends up getting transformed into one of the monsters. So it's similar to Tokyo Ghoul, because Tokyo Ghoul also had him transform into a ghoul. So I'm excited to read this one. You may also see this one in an upcoming vlog. Just saying, just gonna throw that out there, you know what I'm saying? Just gonna throw that out there, all right? But yeah, excited to read this. If it's gonna be anything like Tokyo Ghoul, hopefully, fingers crossed, I enjoy it. So that is the manga section. Okay, so all right, so the next section, let me fix this child from titty fall out. All right, next section that I have is gonna be romance, a couple of romance books sent to me by publishers and authors. So let's get into her. All right, so the first two that I have are Beverly Jenkins books. I've already read the first one. I've read this one. These are a part of her series, the Women Who Dare series. I've read the first one, the second one, I believe this is the third one, and this is the fourth one. I have started this one. I finished this one. They're all following women who are like more powerful or deemed different from like what they're expected to be during this time period. So this one basically is following this woman that got kicked out when she was 18. She kind of made it on her own. She lives in Wyoming. She owns a ranch, and she basically rescues this guy that's caught in a storm. He ends up getting caught in a storm. He's like a news reporter. He was coming to, I think, interview her brother, and they end up sparking up a romance. It's really cute. She's kind of a free spirit. She lives by her own rules, and a lot of people in her city, her small town, they kind of shame her for that, but he still loves her despite it all. And I really enjoyed this one. Listen to this one on an audiobook. And then this one, what is this one? I think this one is following the main character, and she's kind of like a spy in a way. So she's like working undercover, and she's working undercover as a housemaid for this guy that they think stole Declaration of Independence. So she's trying to find out information about that and get it back, and they end up falling for each other. So that's what this one follows. The next one that I have, the author sent me this one. It's called Love Rebooted, and I believe it follows the main character who just won a good chunk of money for her small business, and her ex is basically stalking her to take that money from her, and she ends up falling in love with this attorney who kind of walks in her dressing room while she's like trying on lingerie, and their romance like sparks from there. But it's basically following her romance between her and the attorney, and her coming into new money and just trying to navigate that and do well with her business. So that's what this one is. I have these two, which were sent to me by Penguin Teen, so thank you very much. And this one is, I don't know why. Listen, y'all, if y'all are OGs, or if you know, I'm not a space girly. Sci-fi is not my thing, space opera is not my thing, but I saw this cover and I was like, it's worth a shot. Okay, so basically it's following like this ragtag team that's trying to save the world. There is Zarya, she's the god of creation, we reborn. We have Wesley the smuggler, and we have Ruben the wanted space podcaster. So they're basically coming together to like fight this space galactic war. I don't know, child, but I love a good found family moment, and I like the cover, so we picked her up. Then we have Waking Fire, which basically follows this secret city that no one knows about until this mistress or this goddess ends up coming to their city, specifically looking for something, and she's destroying their city. Like, she's looking for it by any means necessary. She doesn't care who she takes down. She doesn't care if everything falls apart. So the main character, Naria, is basically get her little ragtag team to basically attack the mistress that is trying to destroy their city, and trying to figure out what she's looking for specifically. So that is what this one follows. I'm actually really interested in picking this one up. I'm sorry, these covers just, they got me with the covers every time. They get me with the covers. So that is this section. Let's move on to the next one, child. I am already tired of talking. Okay. Alright, so this next big section that we have, these are all special editions. So let's get into these bad boys. Where do I want to start? I guess I'll start with this one. She's so beautiful. Oh my god. Y'all. Oh, a moment of silence. Dowry of Blood was one of my favorite books. I think I read it in 2020. Was it 2020 or 2019? I don't remember. But this is one of my favorite books. I did a cosplay of it. And I had to get a special edition because the original cover, I don't mind it, but they redid the cover and I do not like it. So I was like looking for like special editions of like my favorite books, and this one, it's so beautiful. Like I just need, you just have to see it close. Can you see like the hands, and like just look at this cover. We have a matte finish cover. We have these, look at these edges. Can y'all see? Stop focusing on me. Look at the edges. Y'all see the edges, child? This thing, okay, there you go. See the edges? Beautiful. And then, oh my god, it's such, this is so beautiful. Like, look at this. I think this is the bookish box edition, but I'm sorry, this is the best one yet. Like this, like down to the hard cover. Like, look at just, everything is just so well done with this one. This is just so beautiful. Like, this is one of my honestly favorite books that I've ever purchased. Y'all know what Dowry of Blood is about. I don't have to tell y'all what Dowry of Blood is about, but oh my god. A gift, a life without laws, without limits, the choice is yours. Oh my god, just look at that. Like, look at, oh my god, it's just so beautiful. It's just so beautiful. Oh, look at that. And it's signed. Like, oh my god, look at that. Beautiful. Like, this is just so well done. I'm so sorry. This phenomenal. Like, look at the back. Please, like, this was so worth the buy, and I found it for a reasonable price, because some of y'all on Mercari are on absolute crack, because I'm not paying $200 for no book. I don't know if y'all got it like that, but it ain't in my budget, baby. Like, there is absolutely no way. So I found it for a good price. It's beautiful. There was no damages. and I think this is like the published edition. So I only have the indie published one. I don't know what they've changed in this one, but I've heard that this one has like a special chapter, so I'm excited to read this. I really want to reread this. I've been in such a mood to like reread my favorite books, but a lot of the books I wanted to reread were in this haul, so I was like trying to hold off, but it's about that time now. It's about that time. So that's the first one. And then I picked up these two. Everybody's been loving these hockey romances, and I read the first one on KU, but the covers, I don't really like the covers. Like, everybody hates men on covers. I really don't mind it. It doesn't really bother me too much because some of them I actually really like Kennedy Ryan series, like the long shot cover. I just think it's so beautiful. Like, some of them are in good taste, but this one just looks like graphic design is my passion. It just gives me that. I got these editions because these are just, you know, the discreet covers. All the indie published girlies are getting their discreet cover, getting in their discreet cover bags, and I really like it. I like the like matte finish, and it's like a, I guess like a lavender color. Has flowers and stuff on it. I'm gonna be picking this one up in a vlog soon, so you will see this one as well. But yeah, so I got Sunny Disposition and I got Teen Players, the first and the second book. And the, what are they called? The Meadowhawks? Yeah, Mendelhawks series. So got both of these. Very cute. Very cute. Got them on Amazon. So if you want to pick them up and you don't like the original covers, then I definitely recommend these. Oh, my babies. The author sent me these because I talked about her books and my best books of last year, and she sent me these signed editions. I almost cried. I unboxed it in, I think, the KU reading vlog, so I'll link it up if you guys want to check it out. But this series is absolutely phenomenal. These editions are absolutely gorgeous. Just like, I just like, and she signed them. Like, she signed them for me. See? Can you see? If there's a fire in my house ever, God forbid, the first thing I'm grabbing is these books and my MacBook. These are my babies. I'm going to hold these close to my heart, and I'm going to be reading these with Erin on her channel, I think next month. I think in May and June we're going to be buddy reading this for her book club, so I'm excited to read this. If you don't know what this series is about, this is a indie published series that basically follows the main character. Her name is Raja. So it basically follows this world where they basically go through a school, and on like basically on their graduation day they have to go out into the desert because they live in like a desert land, and they have to compete in teams to bring back some type of creature from the desert lands. But there's a ton of political intrigue in this series, and we have like an underdog main character who is bullied the entire book, but he has his strong moment where he gets with Raja, who is this crazy card. She is just like, she's like the embodiment of like Captain Jack Sparrow, and she's like, I've said, she's like a mix of like Captain Jack Sparrow and Manon. Like, she's like a mix of like those two characters, and she's just like unpredictable, chaotic, crazy, but she's very driven. And for the graduation competition, basically what she wants to bring back is a dragon. So nobody wants to do that with her except Nico. So they end up teaming up. They get their little ragtag crew, and a whole bunch of stuff goes down. So you have to pick it up. It's very, very different. It's just something that I haven't read before. It kept me on the edge of my seat. It's heavily annotated and heavily tabbed. My original copy back there, but these I'm not going to touch them. I'm just going to let them sit and shine on my shelf. So there's that. Absolutely amazing series, and I cannot wait to pick up the second one in June alongside Erin. I really hope she likes it, but if she doesn't, it'll lead to good discussion. So my Islanders are gonna laugh at me for this one, but we have the Plated Prisoner series, and this is absolutely hilarious to me because I was dragging the first book. Like, I read it in a Kindle Unlimited reading vlog where I like read a Kindle Unlimited book and I watch a Studio Ghibli film, but I was dragging the hell out of this book. Like, everybody was hyping it up, but like for me, 60% of the book was boring as hell. Like it was just so, I think it was meant to be like that, but it was just so boring. But I didn't finish it in that vlog, so I was just reading through the boring parts that I did not enjoy, and I was like, listen, this is just not for me. I did end up finishing the book, and this is a perfect example of why I don't DNF books, because I was not enjoying it. But that last like 40-50% was so interesting, and like new things were revealed, and it just was so good. Like I just ended up loving it, and I'm just like, okay, I feel like I'm gonna end up loving this series. So I was like, let's see what the special editions is talking about, because I remember seeing Olivia Reads a Latte talk about the special edition that she got, and everybody did not like them, but I think they're beautiful. So I ended up picking the special editions for the Plated Prisoner series. And I just think they're gorgeous. These are gorgeous to me, honey. Like, okay, look at that. Beautiful. Look at that. Yes, ma'am. Oh, yes, ma'am. I just think these are beautiful. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. But I don't think the series is finished. So I guess the last book, I don't know what I'm going to do about that, because it's not going to match. But look at that. Really like it. I really like it. Then they have like the little, you know, the dripping edges. A moment there. We got the inside, and then this comes off. So this little plastic piece comes off. There we go. I got these on Pango Books for a good price, child, because y'all be tripping on Macari and Pango Books and all you resellers out there. Some of y'all really be tripping. Like, I know you have to get profit back, but y'all not about to rob me. You ain't about to pull the wool over my damn eyes. So I had to finagle my way up into Pango Books and hit her on the DMs, because I'm not paying no crazy prices for no books. But very gorgeous editions. After dragging the hell out of the series, I'm actually excited to read it. But it basically follows, I'm pretty sure y'all know what this series is about, but it basically follows the main character who is, he's basically the dude that has like the Midas touch. Everything he touches turns into gold. If you know that fairy tale, I do. And the female main character has been turned into gold. So her hair is gold, her skin is gold, everything that she is gold. And she's basically like his little pet child. But some things happen to where she ended up breaking free. So we gonna see how that goes. I'm excited. I love a good love triangle moment too. So I'm hoping we get a little bit of that. Those are all the special editions that I have. Let me put these back on my shelves, and then I will be right back, because we have so many more books to talk about. Lord. Alright, so this is the biggest section of this haul, which is fantasy, because this year I've really been trying to focus on reading more fantasy books and reading bigger books. Like, those are my two big goals. So we definitely have some big books in this section. Okay, I'll start with this one because I've already talked about it. Alright, so the first one that I have is Almost There, A Twisted Tale. So this one basically is where like she takes the deal to get everything she wanted, but it comes with like a sacrifice. I was supposed to read this in my Reading Like Princess Tiana vlog, but I didn't end up picking it up yet. But I still am interested in reading this because it seems like it has pretty good reviews, so we shall see. Alright, so that's the first one. And then we have Children of Ragnarok. Children of Ragnarok. Children of Ragnarok. I'm gonna go with Ragnarok, child. I don't know. Listen, these damn fantasy names be killing me. Children of Ragnarok. So this one is basically a fantasy book that follows a main character that lives in a world after the gods have taken over and disappeared, and I think that all the magic within that land was taken away as well, and a lot of people are suffering after the gods, you know, destroyed their city. But family is doing really well, but then they end up getting wrongfully accused of killing their stepfather or something like that. So they're basically up for grabs to go to the prison, okay? But that's what this fantasy book is following. I've heard good things about it. It's kind of like a, I feel like not too many people have talked about this book, so I do want to pick this one up because I like reading books that aren't too hyped. But this synopsis is a bit too long. Like I didn't want to know too much going into it, so I only read the first paragraph, so I only know like bits and pieces of it, and that's the way that I want to leave it. But any books that follow gods I really enjoy, so I'm excited to pick this one up. Okay, we have this one. Okay, so this one is A Dawn of Onyx, and I think I saw Rachel read this on her channel, Raven Hair Reader. If you don't know, go check out her channel. This is like a fantasy romance, but she said it has a lot of politics in it, and your girl loves politics and fantasy books, so I definitely want to pick this one up. And so basically she ends up getting taken prisoner during this war within her land to be used for her healing power. So she has healing abilities. They've taken her prisoner in order to use her healing powers to heal soldiers during the war, but she's trying to escape. Okay, so she pairs up with another prisoner and they're trying to break free and get up out of there. So that's what this one follows, and I think they end up falling for each other, so I'm excited to read this. Child, everybody been talking about this book. I had to pick it up. I mean, I've already read Priory of the Orange Tree, and it was just okay for me, but I feel like it should have been broken down more, and we could have gotten a more deep dive into the characters, and a little bit gayer and a little bit more dragon. That's all I'm asking for. So I've seen a few people read this in vlogs, and of course your girl's gonna mute because I don't want to know anything going into it, but I haven't heard anyone hate it. The first sentence I hear them say is like, I'm loving this way more than the first book. So this is like the prequel to the Priory of the Orange Tree, and she's just gorgeous. Like, I was gonna pick this up anyway because the cover is just absolutely beautiful. Okay, beautiful cover. So I'm excited to read this because I've heard really good things about it. So hopefully we get more backstory, we get more historical intrigue, and more dragons, because if you're gonna have a dragon on a cover like this and on the first book, we need more dragons in the book, sister. Okay, bring it to us. Hoping that I enjoy this one. Obviously she's a thick book, trying to get into the thick book era, you know what I'm saying. Okay, I'll do this one because I'm currently reading this. I don't know if I've hauled this already, but currently I'm like 60% into this book. This is Blood Mercy, and I picked this one up because I heard Erin talk about it on her channel. I've had this on my TBR for like 2 months, and I finally was able to pick it up in the month of April, and I'm really enjoying it. It's very slow, following the city that's separated, and they have the Hesperians, who are basically like vampires, but they're completely misunderstood. There's a lot of rumors flying around about like who they are, what they practice, their history. They're basically seen as monsters, but like I really enjoy this because it's depicting the normal people as the monsters, and basically breaking down all the rumors surrounding like the Hesperians. So it's just very slow, it's very politically heavy, and I'm just really enjoying it. There's also a romance in this one as well, and she is the daughter of the king, but she is like the bastard of the king, so he be doing her wrong, child. But ends up befriending Leo, and they end up falling for each other. So I'm really enjoying it so far, like 60% in. And there's that one. As you can see, she's heavily tabbed. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. It's just very slow. It's not too much to say on that one. The Monsters We Defy. So I've heard really good things about this. I saw a lot of people reading it last year during like spooky season, and it basically follows the main character who has the ability to talk to spirits, and one of the spirits basically makes a deal with her saying like, if you bring me the ring of the wealthiest woman in this city, then I'll give you anything that you want. And my thing is, I ain't making no deals with no spirit. Like, maybe it's just me, but I'm not making no deals with no damn spirits. Like, I'm simply not. But she ends up doing it, and it goes from there. So the synopsis of this one is pretty long. I didn't want to read anything else. I read the first paragraph so that I can give you guys a synopsis, but I've heard good things about this one, and it's just very spooky, so I'm excited to pick it up and see if I'll enjoy it. Oh god, this one got a sticker on it, bruh. Okay, so I'm not sure if I talked about this one, but we have The Daughter of the Pirate King, and this is a booktube OG, child. So many people was talking about this damn book so long ago, like way back in the day, like original booktube back in the day. It basically is following this girl that gets kidnapped, but she kind of like let herself get kidnapped, and she's the princess of the Pirate King. She gets kidnapped, and she's basically there on the ship that took her to infiltrate their whole ship, and she ends up butting heads with the, I think he's the captain of the ship, and they probably end up falling for each other. But one of my favorite books is To Kill a Kingdom, and this one kind of gives me similar vibes, so I'm interested to see how it is, if it has really good banter. And I love books that are set on ships. They usually do a really good job with like that setting, so I'm excited to pick that one up. But before I pick it up, the sticker has to go. Like, the sticker needs to just go away, like immediately. We have this one, which you will see in a vlog very soon. This one is Silver Under Nightfall, and I heard Aaron and Mina talk about this book, and I don't know anything about this book other than it is just vampires and it follows a poly relationship. I don't need to know anything else. Like, nothing else matters. That's all I need to know in order to pick this one up. So I'm excited to read this one. They seem to really enjoy it, so I'm hoping that I do as well. So far, the cover is just gorgeous, so I'm hoping that I enjoyed this one. Really excited to pick it up. So next one that we have is a classique, and I heard Bella from Thrones of Pages talk about this classic. She's in her classic era, child. She's like the mother of the classic books, and she's really been reading a lot of classics, and I don't really feel the urge to read classics. I enjoy watching her read and enjoy them, but she did talk about this one, which is like a fantasy book, and it follows the history of China but in a fantastical way. So it adds in magical realism, but it does have snippets of real historical events. So I don't know, I've heard good things about it. The reviews are pretty good on this one as well, so I'm excited to pick it up. I don't think I've ever read a classic so I don't know how this is gonna go, but I am a fantasy girl, so I'm hoping for the best. Fingers crossed. We have A Winter's Promise. I don't remember what it's following. I swear it follows like Sibling. The main character has the ability to travel through mirrors, and she also has the ability to like touch objects and see things from those objects. So that's all I know. Again, the synopsis of this one is very long. I didn't want to read too much into it. I like going into books blind because they just be telling everything in the synopsis. They be telling you who gonna die, who gonna get kidnapped, like all of the exciting parts of the book they tell you in the synopsis. So I don't know too much about it, but I've heard really good things about it, so I'm excited to pick it up. I almost bought all three in one purchase, but I was like, you know what, let me just slow down. Let me read the first one, see if I like it, and go from there. So that's this one, and then we have the last section, which is more fantasy. So let me go grab those. Let me put these back on the shelves, grab the other ones, and I will be right back. These are the last books, and we're still in the fantasy section, but this is it. We are coming towards the end, so let's get into it. So we have A King's Radiance. So this one I think I heard Aaron talk about, and I'm just gonna read the tiny little paragraph at the back. I know a lot of people don't like when you read the synopsis of the back, but oh well. Okay, oh well. Alright, so it says, the sun's light shines bright over the land of Zopar, and only a select few can harness its power, but all power comes with a cost, and the world is not kind to those who refuse to pay it. So that's all I want to know. I don't want to know anything else. The beginning says, 3 siblings, a rebel, a prince, and a prisoner. I don't even know nothing else. Like, the synopsis, this I know is going to tell me the entire plot. I don't want to know anything else. That's all I need to know. They get their power from the sun. Don't tell me anything else. But I feel like this is going to be like a character driven story, so I'm excited to read this. I love fantasy books that are character driven, especially if I end up liking the character. So we'll see how that one goes. That's the first one, and then we have, I've already talked about this book, but it's okay, Black Leopard Red Wolf. So I don't really know what this is about, but I know it has like some very tough topics in it, and I think I kind of forgot about that when I saw the cover. I just was like, ooh, gimme. Follows the main character. His name is Tracker, and he's basically trying to find this missing boy, but he feels like they aren't being honest with who this boy actually is. So that's all I know. I think he's also in like a little group. He has like a little ragtag group that's also trying to track this boy down, and one of them is like a shape-shifting leopard, so I think he can shift into a man or a leopard. So I'm excited to read it. Hopefully it's not too dark. Hopefully it goes well. We shall see. So there's that one. The Fall of Souls. I keep putting this in my haul, so hopefully that I pick it up soon. I keep putting it on my bedside table to read it, and like with all my other books that I really want to read, so I can physically see it, but I haven't started it yet. But this one basically follows like a Nubian goddess and like a Nubian guard, and I think they end up falling for each other. There's a lot of political intrigue as well, so I'm really excited to read this because I did pre-order it so it got to me early, and I wanted to read it as soon as it got here, but I just had so many other books that I was in the middle of reading. But I am excited to still read this one. I think I'm really going to enjoy it. I feel like it's very refreshing, like the plot of it and everything, so I'm interested to see what it's about. And I think the main character, she doesn't know that her lineage has gods in it, so that's like one of my favorite plots, when they find out that they're magic, they have magical ties or royalty, or they're in their lineage they were gods. Like those are like, but they don't know. Like that's like one of my favorite plots, so I'm hoping that I enjoyed this one. Another book that I've talked about already, Jade City. I was supposed to already had read this, child, but I have not picked it up yet. I'm a little bit nervous, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little bit nervous. Everybody loves this series, and I always get nervous with books like that because it's like, what if I don't like it? Y'all know what Jade City is about. I do not have to tell y'all what Jade City is about, but I'm hoping I enjoy it. I still haven't read it yet. I don't think I've read anything by Miss Fonda Lee, which is embarrassing in itself, but soon. Then I got this one, which is The Blood Price, and this is the prequel to the book that I previously talked about, which was Blood Mercy. So this is the prequel to Blood Mercy, the start of the series, and it's basically following the world that's divided between like regular humans and the Hesperians, which are like vampires. So that's the start of this series. Small, so probably gonna pick it up soon. Then we have another vampire series. So this one is The Serpent and the Wings of Night. So I think I heard Rachel from Raven Hair Reader talk about this book, and she seemed to really love it. It was a main character who has been raised by vampires, but she's a human, and she ends up falling for a vampire, I believe, and she's also a part of a tournament that she's trying to win. That's what this one follows. I know she's going to be entering a tournament, and it's like very dark, twisted, heavy in politics, but heavy in romance too, and fantasy, fantastical, vampires. That's all you need to know. All the hit words, all the taglines, they all sound good, and she seemed to really have enjoyed this one. And damn, this font is small. We're gonna see about that. Okay, next we have The Shadow of the Gods. The Shadow of the Gods. This doesn't even have a synopsis. I'm pretty sure, okay, so from what I remember, this one is basically following the aftermath of this world after the gods basically tore it apart and disappeared. So a lot of these books honestly are following the aftermath of the world after the gods showed up and then disappeared. And there's also like another ragtag group that basically is restructuring the way that their country is currently surviving. So I think they build like a rebel group, and they challenge the politics of the current date. That's all I know about that one. This one doesn't really have a synopsis. From what I remember, that's what this one is following, so I'm excited to pick it up. It's smaller than I thought, and the font is tiny. Like, I don't know, I'm used to fantasy books being bigger than this, like, you know, if you can see the size difference. Yeah, it's kind of small, but it's okay. I'm so excited to read it. I've heard really good things about this one, so we'll see how it goes. And then we have the last two. Okay, finally, I'm tired of talking. The last two. Okay, so the first one we have is The Grace of Kings, and I haven't heard too many people talk about this, but I heard a fantasy booktuber talk about it. I can't remember who it was. This is basically following a world where the gods are still currently staying within their city. The emperor that's the head of the city is kind of leaving it in shambles. They basically have gotten into heavy into like engineering, capitalism, politics, stuff like that, that is not benefiting the actual people. So very, very relatable. Very relatable, especially if you live in America. There's like a rebel group formed, Am I guessing with some of these? Yes. Am I probably wrong? Maybe. But it's okay. It's okay. So I think there's like a rebel group form and they're challenging the politics within this world. So that's what this one is following. I haven't heard so many people talk about it, but the cover is really pretty, so I'm hoping I like it. I've just been trying to pick fantasy books that I haven't heard too many people talk about that are kind of like underrated. So hopefully I like it so that I can talk about it. So the final book of the book haul. This big boy. Look at that. Ooh. How many pages is this? Oh my god. I'm gonna be reading this for months. Oh, 810. It's not that bad, but these pages are huge and the font is tiny. So 800 pages. This is definitely going to be a character driven book. I think I heard Aaron talk about this book, and it based, let's see, I'm just going to read the tagline. It says, all legends are born of truth and just as much lies. These are mine. Judge me for what you will, but you will hear my story first. I buried the village of Ampere under the mountain of ice and snow. Then I killed their god. I've stolen old magic and I've been cursed for it. I started a war with those who walked before mankind and lost the princess I loved and wanted to save. I've called lightning and I've bound fire. I'm a legend and I am a monster. My name is Ari, and this is a story of how I let loose the first evil. I'm sorry, that's how you do a synopsis, okay? Like, simple, to the point, and it just lets me know that this is basically, I feel like this is going to be like a morally gray villain character, and I always hold those characters so dear to my heart. Any books that are fantasy driven, that have like morally gray or villainous characters that give their backstory or like the origins of their story, I always eat it up every time. So I'm excited. Ooh, this font is tiny. Good lord. Let's look at the Bible. This is the next big book that I wanted to pick up, but I'm trying to wrap up Blood Mercy before I pick this one up next. So this is at the top of my TBR, the tippy top. And I think that's all the books, because I've been slowly putting them back on my shelves because I'm smart. I don't want to have books everywhere, and when I'm done with this video, I want to be done with this video. Okay, so that is all the books. That should be 50 books. I'm not 100% sure, but those are all the books that I have recently purchased. I'm really excited to read bigger books this year. I'm hopeful for these books. All of the books that I picked up, I'm hoping that I really enjoy them. I'm trying to get into my fantasy bag, find some new authors that I really enjoy. Let me know in the comment section below if you have read or heard of any of these books. If you made it to the end of this video, I'll put the emoji up. Leave this emoji in the comment section below if you made it to the end. Let me know what books you add to your TBR after watching this video. Thank you guys. I'm so ready to close it and go get something to eat. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching. Always remember, read a book, keep your life interesting, and I will see you next time. Bye.